Hello, family. Not many crazy updates. I talked to mom and dad yesterday. Um, Here's my pepper plant. Here's the progress. It's getting very large. It's got two peppers. There's this one, and then this one that's like curling around the whole plant. Um, I looked at the bag again. They're Anaheim chilies, apparently. The dill is doing very well as well. It's all the way up to there. You can kind of see it. And then these ones are also going. The cilantro has finally grown like two leaves, but then the oregano and whatever the other one is that I've forgotten, those are also starting to do okay. I've been printing a 3D version of Settlers of Catan. It's very cute. There's like little tiny sheep and a little tiny brick pile and little docks. I'm moving through that slowly, although I just ran out of green filament and I was printing the forests, so we have sort of a deforested forest now. So I have to figure that out. Life updates, not a lot going on as usual. As mom and dad know, I'm trying to figure out what the next, as everyone knows, I think at this point, trying to figure out what the next step is. Still don't know. It's a long process. Other things, making some progress on this puzzle finally, slowly but surely. Work is work. They just updated our PTO policy, which is not a good thing. They updated it for the worse. It's a little more standard corporate PTO policy, but it's worse than it was, so that's kind of annoying. But we'll survive. I'm trying to think. A lot of good articles and videos sent this week in the group chat. I liked a lot of them. The more I've read Andy's blog and interacted with it, the more Andy sends me his blog, which I enjoy. I'm glad he does. I like his blog a lot. I've liked some of the topics he had this week as well. The whole AI thing, I forget which one it was, the article that was like, here are some big changes that are coming, and it was written by like some big name economist or something. I don't know, but that one I particularly, well, I don't know if I should say I liked it. I liked it, but in the I agreed with it, and I hate that I agree with the assessments made in it about how aging population and AI and all of that stuff are going to be big changes that are coming, and basically how we react to them in the next 5 to 10 years is going to really determine the success, I think, of the US for a little bit. And I agree with that general idea / sentiment. And I think I'm pessimistic about it, and I don't think it's going to go well. Just everything I've seen so far is that companies will develop artificial intelligence to cut costs, and they will do it without thinking about it or understanding it, and we will not be able to catch up as a country in terms of our legislation and policy quick enough to the changes that are happening around us. Not just AI. I know that's the hot topic everyone's all up and about, but I think the aging population is a good point, and then I think education is another one. Our lack of effective higher education and training, I think is a big one. But anyways, I don't know. I guess I'm kind of pessimistic about the outcomes of those things, and I don't really know what that means in terms of like actionable, like I'm worried about it, but I don't know what is actionable about it, if that makes sense. Like, I'm a young person, who's gonna have to deal with this stuff, and I don't know what knowing some of these things really, like, if it really helps me at all. Like, does knowing them help me better prepare for it? I don't know, because I think the issue is apparent, but the outcome is not. And what that sort of means, like, in terms of what somebody should prepare for. Like, for example, I think this is a good, like, the knowing the start but not knowing the finish is like when we were kids, Doug, John, me, my generation and around it, there was this huge, like, oh, you should go into software engineering or like computers, like that you should go into tech in that sense. And like, oh, you'll make a ton of money if you're a software engineer. And now we're seeing right now like a big decrease in software engineering roles and like the importance of that. And a lot of tech companies are downsizing, those types of tech companies are downsizing. And that space is just getting really difficult right around the time where all those people who were told to do that are like, have graduated college and are looking for their first jobs and stuff like that. And I think that's a good example of knowing or like seeing the start of something, saying, oh, technology is booming, or like we've got all these new computer jobs that are coming up, right? But also not understanding that like there might have been further technology or like business decisions that lead to not needing all those jobs, years down the line. I don't necessarily think it was bad advice or anything like that. I just think that I think it's kind of impossible to know what's going to happen 10 to 20 years from now, right? And I think the same is true with AI. Like, we're going to see a lot of changes, and not just from AI, from other technologies too, that will reshape the world and the economy and the workspace. And I guess that leaves me in a point where I'm not really sure what the best path is, right? I talked to mom and dad about this kind of like tangential topic, more me-centered, my plans and my life centered, yesterday, and it's more so in the sense of like what I want to do next, and really my goal is to try to be happy. So I don't know if that really requires that I'm also successful in sort of the standard sense of the word, I would say, or the U.S., the American idea of successful, if that makes sense. So I don't know. I'm sure eventually we will see where things go, but I don't know. Do you guys have better views on this? Like, am I just being pessimistic, or is this like a across the board sentiment? What are your optimistic views on it? Because I would love to see it in an optimistic light, but I don't see that right now. So let me know. All right, that's it. I'm at 9 minutes. Adios.